At one point, this man was one of the biggest football stars on the planet. He played for giants like Real Madrid and AC Milan. Fans adored him. Brazil believed he was the next global superstar. But one night in a Milan nightclub would start a chain of events that would eventually destroy everything. Before the scandals in the courtrooms, Robinho is just a boy growing up in São Vicente, a small coastal town in Brazil. Life here is simple and sometimes difficult. Money is tight for many families, and opportunities can feel limited. But there is one thing almost every kid has: a football. Children gather in the streets after school. Some play on dusty patches of ground. Others kick the ball around between parked cars. And Robinho is always there. From the moment he starts playing, something about him stands out. The ball moves differently when it's at his feet. He dribbles past older kids. He tricks defenders with little flicks and sudden turns. People start noticing. Soon he joins the youth academy at Santos FC, one of the most historic football clubs in Brazil. This is the same club where the legendary Pelé once played. The same club where one of the greatest football stories in history began. That legacy hangs over every young player who joins the academy. But Robinho embraces it. As the years pass, he grows into one of the most exciting young talents in Brazil. Coaches praise his creativity. Fans admire his fearless style. When he dribbles, it almost looks like he's dancing. Crowds begin to gather just to watch him play. By the early 2000s, Robinho becomes the face of Santos' new generation. The team wins major domestic titles, and suddenly the whole country is talking about this young forward with endless flair. Then, in 2005, the call finally comes. Real Madrid wants him. For Robinho, it feels unreal. One day he's playing in Brazil. The next, he's stepping into stadiums packed with thousands of fans in Spain. Madrid is filled with global stars, and expectations are enormous. But Robinho adapts quickly. He dribbles past defenders with ease. Fans cheer every time he receives the ball. Later, he moves to England to join Manchester City, becoming one of the club's most high-profile signings at the time. Then comes another move, this time to Italy, where he signs with AC Milan. By now, Robinho has achieved something extraordinary. He has played for some of the biggest clubs in the world. He has worn the jersey of the Brazilian national team. He has millions of fans across the globe. From the streets of São Vicente to the biggest stadiums in Europe, his journey feels like a perfect football story. But in 2013, during his time in Milan, one night will begin to change everything. It is January 2013 in Milan. The city is alive with nightlife. Restaurants and clubs fill with people enjoying the evening. That night, Robinho and several friends decide to go out to a nightclub to celebrate a birthday. Inside the club, music blasts through speakers. Colored lights flash across the dance floor. People laugh, dance, and move through the crowded space. Among the guests that night is a 23-year-old woman who is also celebrating a birthday with her friends. As the night continues, drinks keep flowing. The atmosphere grows louder and more chaotic as the hours pass. At some point during the night, the woman becomes heavily intoxicated. What happens next becomes the center of a criminal investigation. Authorities accuse Robinho and several other men of taking advantage of the woman while she is in that vulnerable condition. The accusations are serious, and police begin examining what happened inside the nightclub. Investigators speak to witnesses. They collect statements. They review evidence connected to that night. Meanwhile, Robinho continues his football career with AC Milan. The investigation quietly grows. Police gather more details. They study phone records and communications between the men involved. Eventually, the case moves forward. Prosecutors bring the accusations to court. Inside the courtroom, the atmosphere is very different from the energy of the nightclub. Now, everything is quiet and tense. Judges sit at the front of the room. Lawyers present their arguments. Witnesses speak about what they saw. Robinho maintains his innocence. He says he did nothing wrong, but the trial continues as both sides present their version of what happened that night in Milan. Outside the courtroom, football matches continue. Fans cheer in stadiums. Inside, the future of a famous footballer is slowly being decided. The courtroom falls silent as the judges prepare to announce their decision. After examining the evidence and hearing testimony, the court delivers its verdict. Robinho is found guilty. The sentence, 9 years in prison. But Robinho is no longer in Italy. He is living in Brazil, the country where he first learned to play football in the streets. Brazil has a rule when it comes to its citizens. The country does not extradite Brazilians to serve prison sentences in other nations. So Robinho remains in Brazil while the legal fight continues. His lawyers challenge the ruling. They argue against the conviction. They push the case through the appeals process, but the Italian courts review the case again. The conviction stands. The sentence remains. Now attention shifts to Brazil's legal system. Italian authorities request that Brazil enforce the prison sentence locally. The request reaches Brazil's Superior Tribunal de Justiça, one of the highest courts in the country. Judges review the details of the case. They examine the decision made by the Italian court. After studying the request, the court makes its ruling. Robinho must serve the 9-year sentence in Brazil. Just like that, the final chapter begins. The boy who once dazzled crowds with tricks and dribbles, the player who wore the jerseys of Real Madrid, Manchester City, and AC Milan, now faces life inside prison walls.